Welcome to Module 5. So, for us to reach true self, true essence, we need to know what is blocking us. As we will learn in the further modules, ego is going to be the one thing that we need to learn to develop as well as let go. Our ego develops in stages as well as we do, as our psychology does as well. And depending on how it's developing, it's going to change the focus on what we need in life. So as we change our thoughts and feelings according to our belief systems, our actions do too. So the ability to know if we're hitting flow, then we know we're doing well. When we're not, then we need to know where our ego is. Where is it? Because now we're not meeting the necessary needs that we're trying to meet in biological, psychological essence. We go through stages of symbiotic, impulsive, self-protective, conformist, conscientious, individualistic, autonomous, integrated. Okay? So they all go through the same stages as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You have to satisfy the bio urges, the safety, and as we're moving towards understanding how our needs transfer in the outside world, we have a good understanding of why there is power. The power dynamic allows us to have and have nots. As we develop that, we've developed law and obedience and being able to know what's right and wrong. As we developed the ability to have something govern us, such as a doctrine or law, we didn't have to worry about people killing each other. Now we can focus on being able to develop ourselves and develop others. Habitat, humanistic, it could be through resources, prosperity. And now we're satisfying the needs in the world of ego development, where now we're individualistic, we're conscientious, we're meeting the conformist, whether we are being part of society and society is integrating us to be part of the whole. As we understand the map is not the territory, we need to understand why our ego develops. Our ego develops because it is the mediator between our conscious and subconscious. It allows us to move back and forth between our biological urges, right? We have our id, and then we have our moralities, where our guilt and pleasure comes from, and being able to understand where that's weighing in to gratification of our own selves, right? How do we know what's right and wrong? So the ego is developed because it needs to go through the stages before it understands what being autonomous, free from ego is. You allow yourself to push the ego out enough where you can actually perform, have the ability to develop and prosper, perform, as well as the integration of knowing who you are in the world, right? What identity can you actually choose to be, and that is what allows you to be autonomous, right? You're an identity in the world now. You are somebody in the world, and that means something to you, right? So the ego development of autonomous allows us to know, okay, when is our ego going to be integrated in our essence? Because the moment that we understand that there's nothing that we can do about the ego, that's when we actually have control over the ego. Because now we're seeing it for what it is, the psychology and the biology behind it, all these urges and the requirements that you need. and then just allowing it to be. The body is the ego. As our bodies develop, so does our ego, and now our focus is going to change as we focus on different things, as we become more holistic and altruistic, as well as we become more focused on our essence and how we develop in our psychology, becoming more holistic as well. So, as we understand that the map is not the territory, we understand that we're always going to cycle up and down, and because of our ego, it's going to pull us up and down. So, as long as we are allowing ourselves to know what we need to focus on, then we know where we're coming from, and then it doesn't matter what needs you're coming from, because now it's more of an overall focus. It's more of an overarching thing of being able to know, okay, this is all of me. This is who I am, right? Now I'm coming from essence and I'm choosing to do all this, rather than coming from biological urges and safety and haves and have-nots, obedience, law, resources, prosperity, habitat, humanity. That is seeking outside of the world because it's not meeting your criteria of what you want to feel on the inside. So as long as you are feeling in this area of essence, then this is irrelevant, because these needs are already met. You have the ability to do this. The only thing is that life has taught you that you need to satisfy these needs. So either one of the two will occur, where you satisfy all the needs and get to this point of essence, or you allow your essence to satisfy all the needs. As the ego develops, then you will know where your center of gravity is always going to be, because now you'll know where you're mostly at, right? Where you're usually functioning at. And as you have these thoughts, they become predominantly who you are. Your thoughts and feelings become your reactions, and your actions allow you to have the results, and you derive meaning from that, and that allows you to create more belief systems, where now it's just an integration process of who you are. So as your ego develops, now you're integrated, and you want to be able to develop a healthy sense of ego, right? Where it's coming from compassion, focus, not coming from needs of ambition or trying to prove themselves, right? Because the shift in ego is always going to be the shift in being able to understand where our essence is. What is real, right? Is it our false sense of self? Is it our invented sense of self? Or is there our true sense of self? And as humans, we're sophisticated enough to have all these areas, because we are primal, we are thinking, and then we are essence. So being able to hit these levels allows you to know, okay, this is where my ego is actually coming in. I will allow it to be for what it is. And that's how you can approach your ego, because now you know what kind of focus you're going to have. So that's it for this module. We'll see the ego develop into the further modules, as now we're getting to a point of, okay, the ego is the one thing that is stopping me from being myself. So how do I approach this? So see you guys in the next video.